Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our series on transitioning back to campus. I'm Eve, and this is Con.
Hey, so today we want to go over some considerations for choosing between in-person and remote learning.
Yes, and as you're making this decision, it's completely understandable to experience frustration if you have a certain preference between in person and virtual learning, and your college does not offer the option that you prefer. We'll share more about coping skills you can use in these situations and other webinars within this series. So be sure to keep an eye out for our short-term and long-term coping webinars.
And if you do have a choice between online and in-person, we are going to go through some considerations when making this decision. As we share these different areas, we encourage you to apply them to your specific situation and think about how these things could affect your decision. Our values can also be considered when making this type of decision. You can find more guidance on identifying your values and allowing our values to guide our decisions and ways of coping in another webinar in this series, which is to be released soon. We're going to organize the webinar into practical considerations and mental health considerations. At the bottom of each slide, you'll see color. Practical considerations will be blue, and mental health considerations will be orange.
So one thing to think about when deciding between in-person and remote learning is if you or those in your family are at higher risk for significant COVID-19 symptoms and complications.
Yes, so this is one of the first things I would consider when deciding to come back to campus for in-person classes. It's also important to take into account your vaccination status and vaccination status of those that you are in close contact with in your household.
Definitely. And if you're looking for updates and additional information regarding vaccines, you can check out the New Jersey COVID-19 Information Hub, which is linked in the description.
Yep, and another important thing to consider is if there is an online or hybrid option for the classes you are looking to take. For instance, if cases spike or if you don't feel comfortable in person.
Yes. So I know some of my classes are in person, but don't offer an online component. So it's really important to check and be aware of the status of your courses. It's also important to consider our current schedules and the aspects that we have gotten used to with remote learning. For example, if for now we would be able to fit in time to commute to class, find parking, and other in-person considerations for our schedules.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been thinking a lot about making sure I have time to commute, find parking, and all the other logistics that go into getting to in-person classes. We encourage you all to purposefully set aside time to consider these factors and adjust your schedule to be more ready for your fall semester.
Another important consideration would include if you have the tech capabilities and the space for remote learning. It can be difficult to get the most out of remote classes if you don't have an environment that facilitates remote learning. You can also learn about your learning styles and whether you would be best suited for in-person learning or online learning.
That's a great point. I know I personally like the dynamic environment of in-person classes where I can interact in person with my professor and classmates.
That's understandable. Personally, I love the convenience of online classes. There are plenty of days where I would roll out of bed and get right to class. Although the choice between in person and remote can be difficult, it comes down to your own situation, your personal preferences, your comfort level, and how you learn best.
Exactly. So now let's go over some mental health considerations of coming back to campus. Starting in-person classes again after a long time away can be anxiety inducing, especially in the climate of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, a lot of people may experience anxiety related to COVID, exposure to COVID-19 by being around people on campus and potentially exposing loved ones to COVID-19 as well. Another thing that could be anxiety provoking is ambiguity around preventative measures such as mask wearing, even among fully vaccinated people.
That's a great point and something that would cause uncertainty in those in-person situations. I think that's up to the person and what they feel comfortable doing. And you can consult the safety guidelines according to your own health vaccine and vaccination status and decide what feels most comfortable to you.
Sometimes it can help to role play the situation out before it even occurs. Imagine you walk into a classroom on your first day of in person instruction, and you're the only person who has a mask on. Think about how you would be most comfortable handling the situation now to ease potential stress later. Would you keep your mask on? Would you take your mask off? Maybe you would even choose to sit a bit away from others. There's no right answer, only what makes you the most comfortable and ready to learn. Although this is an extreme example, and chances are that there will be varying levels of comfort found in a classroom regarding mask wearing, exercises like this can help you think about where your comfort levels are and what you would do in different situations.
That's a great role play exercise. I agree that considering these potentially stressful situations and decisions now can help ease a lot of potential anxiety. This type of situation is also a great opportunity to check in with your values. Again, we will be releasing a webinar on using your values to make decisions and coping soon.
Yes, definitely. I'm sure many people are looking forward to interacting with others in person after being away for so long. However, it's also understandable to feel social anxiety due to being socially distanced for so long.
And while that is completely understandable, if that is the only reason someone may be doing online classes, it may be worth going against the discomfort. Fear related to COVID-19 and increased socializing is valid and worth recognizing. Yet simultaneously, the more we avoid something, the scary it can become in our minds. And college is supposed to be new and scary. And although going to college during a pandemic is not a typical experience, consider taking it as an opportunity to grow. The more experiences you have, the more comfortable you'll become.
That's great to keep in mind. There are also ways to ease into socializing in person. Khan, care to share about some of these ideas?
Yeah, sure. So, for instance, starting a group chat with friends and classmates and seeing if they want to get together or need help moving in could be helpful. It is helpful to be specific, and so you can organize an activity during the first week so everyone can get together and put it in your calendar. This can help to bring back that feeling of familiarity and fun that you have with your friends in person.
That's a great idea. I think a lot of people would be anxious when it comes to socializing in person again. So, planning a get together with friends and classmates and breaking the ice this semester can be really helpful. You can also meet with 1 to 2 friends before meeting with more people if that makes you feel more comfortable. Also, consider reaching out to clubs and organizations that fit your interests as well. This can help you meet more people and become reconnected to the social environment on campus.
Definitely, and there are online options too, like calling a friend, FaceTiming, or watching a movie together remotely for those that don't feel quite ready to interact in person.
Yes. So we hope these tips help in easing some of the anxiety that you may be feeling with this transition. However, if these feelings become increasingly problematic and interfere with your daily functioning, you may want to consider seeking out further support.
That's a great suggestion, Eve. Anyone in New Jersey can also call us to seek guidance on reaching out to their college's counseling center or a mental health professional near them. We offer short-term support through the New Jersey Gazette Hope and Healing as well. We even have mental health resources linked in the description.
Okay, so here's the email, which you can use to contact us, our website, our YouTube channel, and our Instagram. We'll be posting reminders of these uploads through our Instagram, so it could be a great way for you to keep in touch.
We have also included information about COVID-19 in the description as well as a link to our services where you can request an individual check-in. We also have a lot of other webinars, including on transitioning back to campus and on other topics, which you can find on our channel.
The Center for Psychological Services, CPS, of the Rutgers Graduate School of Applied and Professional Psychology, GAZAP, in collaboration with the New Jersey Department of Human Services Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services, Disaster and Terrorism Branch offers this crisis counseling through a federal emergency FEMA grant. This program is brought to you through the New Jersey Hope and Healing Crisis Counseling Program.
And that concludes this webinar. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for joining.